This was the period of the Red and White Roman Empire's bloody and lustful rule. Their army continuously expanded its territory and swept away the small and weak tribes. At that time, a tribe with night blood in its veins also soon became the target of the Roman army's massacre. They killed them all, burned them all, and robbed them of all their property. The main character at that time was just a boy named Milo. He witnessed all the crimes of the Roman army. His innocent eyes had to see his father and mother brutally murdered. After that, the smart boy faked his death and was thrown away in a pile of corpses as high as a mountain. The next morning, he had to painfully see his father's body hanging upside down from a tree branch. From then on, he began to wander, and one day, he was captured and enslaved by a human trafficker. Time passed quickly, and 17 years later, Milo had become a handsome and strong young man. Because of an unhappy childhood, he became cold and insensitive. Milo could fight 3 people easily. With his physical strength, he caught the eye of a nobleman. He bought him for a huge sum of money and brought him to Pompeii to fight. On the way, they met a person returning from Rome. Sitting in a carriage was a beautiful young lady, the daughter of the Lord of Pompei. Her name was Cassia. At this moment, the horse pulling the carriage suddenly cried out and fell down. Seeing this, Milo wanted to save the horse. The horse had a seizure, panting in pain. Milo wanted to end that suffering, so he used his magical strength to directly break the horse's neck. Although he was a slave, he was very strong and brave. This made a slight impression on Cassia. After that, everyone continued on their way to the city. The city of Pompeii was located at the foot of a volcano that had been dormant for thousands of years and was a large, prosperous city with a population of up to 20,000. But there was an arena that could hold 12,000 people and a theater with 5,000 seats. After staying in Rome for a year, the young lady returned to her family's mansion and was warmly welcomed by her parents. As for Milo, of course his place of residence was a dirty and cramped prison. In any place or any era, handsome men are hated. While he was sitting down to eat, a man came to ask for help. He rushed in and hit him in the face. But a cold-blooded killer like him was not so easy to deal with. He drowned him in a water tank, and he immediately bit off one of his fingers. The warden rushed in to disperse everyone. Then he locked him in a cell. There was a strong black man here. His aura was radiant. His name was Atticus. He had been a champion in the arena for many years in a row. According to Roman law, if he won the next match, he would be set free. That night, the lava in the 1,000-year-old mountain began to boil. White smoke began to appear around the mountain. The surrounding water began to evaporate, and the ground shook and cracked. Because of the natural change, animals were more sensitive. Cassia's beloved white horse was scared and lost control. The next morning, the slaves were all woken up very early. The gladiators had to go to the field to practice hard. Milo did not hesitate at all, wanting to test his strength against Atticus for the first time. As a champion many times, he was an extremely powerful fighter. However, it seemed that Milo quickly broke this legendary record. When the two fought, the slave who had been bitten on the hand last night was still angry. He wanted to take advantage of this opportunity to kill Milo, but he was kicked by Atticus. When he returned to prison, he explained to Milo that he felt that a gladiator should sacrifice his glory in the arena, not be stabbed in the back and die. At this time, a Roman senator appeared outside the port, named Corvus. He was the commander of the army that massacred Milo's tribe in the past. When Milo passed by, he immediately recognized the enemy who killed his mother. Today, he came here to negotiate with the city lord on behalf of the emperor. But he was arrogant and thought he was superior, making it difficult to negotiate. Therefore, the city lord had to organize a grand banquet to cleanse him. At the most luxurious mansion in the city, a grand banquet was held, and slaves like Milo now became the entertainment for rich ladies. On the balcony of the mansion, Corvus demanded to see the lord's daughter. It turned out that he had previously pursued her in Rome and failed. So his instinct to conquer the beauty had made him come here. He was determined to warm his bed with her, and he continued to receive a blunt rejection from Cassia. At this time, she and Milo accidentally met again. Just when her white horse became panicked, she immediately asked Milo to help calm it down. With the blood of a knight flowing in his veins and a few notes, he calmed it down. When Cassia entered, she saw Milo riding on the white horse. After that, the two had the opportunity to confide in each other and understand each other better. They both had a common enemy, the lustful and cruel Romans. The more they talked, the closer they became, and their hearts seemed to beat as one. Cassia advised Milo to leave this place and escape from slavery. But now Milo wants to take her with him to find a paradise of love for the two of them. After that, two young people on horseback, because of love, dared to abandon everything to escape. But after running a short distance, they were caught up by the soldiers. For Cassia's safety, he did not escape, but chose to let them capture him. When he was captured and brought back, Corvus was angry and wanted to kill Milo directly, but Cassia begged for mercy. Because of his pride towards the person he loved, he spared Milo's life. However, he still had to be punished with 15 lashes. The leather whip whizzed, lashing the flesh. Each whip mark appeared on his back. Cassia saw it, and her heart ached, and her eyes filled with tears. During the beating, he did not utter a single word. After returning to the cell, Atticus used medicine to clean his wounds. The next day, the warden changed the rules of the competition. He captured 8 slaves. It includes both Milo and Atticus in a duel in the middle of an arena. They are provided with only a sword and a shield. Then they were faced with a large group of soldiers, fully armed. The soldiers threw hundreds of spears at them, then all rushed forward. Milo realized that this time they could not fight the soldiers, so he ran up to the top of the stone pillar with Atticus. Each person standing on the rock easily attacked freely and defended comfortably. Cassia was now extremely worried and pitiful looking at her lover in danger. However, she had no way to stop this. At this time, Atticus had already aimed straight at the center and chopped when the pillar fell on the soldiers. Milo took the opportunity to climb onto the horse's back and used the chain as a weapon, cooperating well with Atticus to kill all the soldiers in the arena. Then, Milo broke the flag, then threw the wooden stick straight at Corvus's sitting position. His guards saw this and used their swords to cut it away. Corvus was furious. He immediately sent an archery team into the arena. Cassia quickly ran out to act as a symbol of mercy for the gladiator, causing all the spectators in the arena to follow suit. As a result, Corvus was extremely angry, ordered someone to take her away and lock her in a dark room. He wanted to force her to be his wife after the match ended. At this time, the arena suddenly shook. In order to stabilize everyone, he continued to drag the spectators into a new match. He wanted his bodyguard to fight Milo. So another fierce battle happened. After only a few rounds, Milo's sword was broken. Although it was replaced with another one, it was a foul play as this sword was probably just for display. After a while of fighting, Milo was knocked down. However, at that moment, an earthquake occurred and lava flowed out from inside the volcano. A huge, thick cloud of black smoke covered the sky, and the arena began to collapse. Seizing the opportunity, Milo jumped to hug the fallen guard. The two continued to fight in the basement. After a while of fighting, Milo felt that he had no way to kill this guy right away. So he released the slaves here to rush up and kill him. So, the guard quickly ran away. The remaining jailer was a bag of meat for the country brothers to take revenge on him for torturing him these past days. Above, the arena's stands had collapsed, and both the city lord and Corvus were affected. When he woke up, the city lord wanted to take this opportunity to kill that lecher. But he was already alert and stabbed the city lord to death, then quickly fled the city with the guard. Now hundreds of tons of lava and dust flying out of the crater were destroying everything. The entire city was immersed in darkness and chaos. Atticus and Milo had no choice but to part ways here. Atticus will run to find the boat, Milo will run to save his lover, and everyone will try to gather and leave together. At this time, Cassia in the warehouse almost died because the roof collapsed. Fortunately, Milo arrived in time and saved her. Immediately, the entire massive mansion was swallowed by the crack, and outside the harbor, the crowd jostled and pushed, blocking the road. Corvus was trapped. He madly drew his sword and slashed at the civilians to open a way out. Those who got on the boat were breathing a sigh of relief, but they could not escape the attack of the flints. Suddenly, the water in the harbor drained extremely quickly. Then a tsunami came, sinking all the remaining boats. The crowd that had been desperately jostling towards the dock now hurriedly panicked and turned around to run away. Atticus and Milo met in the arena. They decided to ride away. When she heard the sad news, Cassia went to her parents' bodies, knelt down to say goodbye to them. Suddenly, the lecherous Corvus appeared again like a ghost and took her away. The horses were also taken away by them. Corvus shouted loudly, "Whoever kills Milo will enjoy glory and wealth for the rest of their lives." Hearing this, they rushed forward one after another. Milo and Atticus combined their swords together, quickly finishing off the group of soldiers. As for the difficult guard, Atticus told Milo to go save his lover and let him deal with this one. Milo decided to ride away on horseback. The speed of the volcano eruption became faster and more violent. After discovering that her lover was about to catch up, she quickly tried to use a tree branch to unlock her handcuffs. At this moment, the ground suddenly shook violently and cracked, but the white horse continued to gallop and chase after him. After a while of struggling, she finally unlocked the handcuffs, then quickly grabbed the reins and overturned the entire carriage. Milo caught up and immediately beat up the pervert Corvus. Cassia was very smart. When he was not paying attention, She handcuffed him to the carriage. Milo gave him a painful kick and left. On the arena, the guard was a rare expert. He stabbed Atticus in the stomach with a sword, then teased him. A slave did not deserve to die equally like the Romans. Atticus was extremely angry after hearing that, broke the sword, then used the remaining piece of the sword, and stabbed him in the neck with all his strength. In the end, he won. Right now, the volcano was erupting at its most violent. A lot of lava had flowed out. Wherever it went, it swallowed everything, destroying everything without leaving anything behind. The lecherous Corvus was left behind, waiting for the approaching death, while Milo and his lover were riding away on horseback. The lava quickly covered the entire city of Pompeii. At the arena, Atticus died as a hero. He finally achieved what he always wanted, which was to die as a free gladiator on the battlefield. Milo and his lover could not run fast enough because the horse was too tired. Milo then told Cassia to ride her horse alone and run ahead, but she chased the horse away. She chose to stay and die with Milo. In this brief moment, Milo gave her a sweet kiss. Perhaps they will live happily ever after in heaven. Thank you for watching.